guys, so I'm here at work. So setting up some iPads too, but basically I went and I was looking at these. I printed up the what do you call it, harness layout of the car, and so basically the plugs that I'm looking at is F1, F9, F8. So once you find them, then it can tell you where it's going to. You can then, like M53, that runs back there. It says all that. You can highlight. Same thing as those Fs. They come over here into this main harness, which ties up with the relay box and everything. So then once you do that, what I do is I print out all the pages and then I cut and tape so you can just trace everything so easier. And basically this F1, which goes to the main thing for the F harness, is the instrument cluster. All of these, like some of those are for the data console. Then if you keep on going, one goes to the TAC, then the other one goes to the cluster. I am thinking about just eliminating this and just using a what's that thing called, a tablet inside the dash. That's what I think I probably may do, but that's further down the road, I guess. So then here goes the other two that come here from the harness of the EFI. And so as I suspected, there's power running to this. There's some that goes to this solenoid valve, which I believe that should be the idle air. I don't know if they call it an idle air control valve on here, but I think that's what it is. But regardless of what, that's neither this or that. But I was looking over real quick and I think it was some of those go to the AC function. Some of these, two of them, be black, yellow, and black, purple, or it could be, it should be black. But anyhow, those go to the ECU, back to the relay. So I'll need to do that so I can power up the fuel pump. And then here goes the relay, which I will be using when I turn the ignition. Then it will turn on the ECU, and you can kind of follow this, and then it takes this line and it comes here, and then it goes here to the fuse panel. So I'm gonna still use the fuse panel. Condenser relay, don't need. Ambient temp switch, don't need. And then I think it did follow some of these. Oh yeah, for the ECU, the neutral switch, 4th and 5th. This was the governor that we used to have on our cars for the stock KA ECU. But I can basically eliminate that and only worry about these wires. But I'm not gonna go and hack everything or whatever. I'm just gonna what's that thing called, cut the wires, maybe take them off. Maybe I can use them later down the road or something of that nature. So this is what the layout. So I'm gonna be able to clean up quite a few bit, and then that's really it. Everything else is gonna come from the ECU. I'm sorry, the engine to the Mega Squirt. And so I'm gonna start creating an Excel file, so I can do a crosswalk of what pins go to what between the motor and the ECU. So alright guys, alright, next course of the update, what do you call it, just started separating the harness. When you look at it at first, it's like, oh damn, that's a lot of wires. Seeing them all bunched up together, you kind of get sidetracked, lost, whatever the case may be. And so what I am doing is separating them. So basically, these all go to 1 engine ground. This is your power ground, which whatever. Actually, here, this is a better. So all of these 5 will just go to a nice engine ground. So that's straightforward. Then these 6 yellow, there's 8 logic spark and injector outputs on here. Since I'm a 6-cylinder, I only need that. So A through G, no, A through F is here. And then I took the other, G and H for spark, and so that's another 4 wires that are off to the side. Again, this is injectors. This is A through H, so at least, I'll know everything what I'm doing here. Then here is going to be my cam input, data log in, which I am going to use for the second cam, and then the green wire is VVT. I'll get that plugged up, and then these spare ones, or these little 4 that I have here, like this is boost control. I have the boost control already. I might as well install it, and just see tack output. That's gonna go so I can get some RPMs. This guy here is my nitrous out 1. So what I've done in the past is, since I don't have a fan, well, anyways, with this one you wouldn't be able to anyways, but I've run an electric fan, and I use one of these spare outputs, and then just have it activate a relay to turn on the fan to cool down the car. And then this one is a lot of people's favorite pin. This is what they call the launch in. So this is basically 2-step. So this is what helps you make fireballs. So once you kind of separate it like that, it gets a little bit more easier. So I want to go and separate that, and then I'll clean it up once in the car. So this is for the MS3X. This is for the daughter board. I'm gonna go ahead and set up the put the other one on, and just go through and clean up again, and then we'll see where that goes. So this one was much easier. These are what I'm not going to be using. They're basically these bank injectors 1 and 2, the ignition output, some IAC, I gotta figure out exactly the IAC2B, their outputs. So maybe I can use one of those for the fan. I don't know, I'm just looking, because like you see, it's like 0.5 amps on that one. It may not be enough low voltage to trigger AM thing, unless I could do, I would do that, a signal. But then you see here, like the nitrous out, that can be 3 amps. So that's why I chose to use this, because I don't know if that would be enough to trigger on the what's that thing called, the fan relay. So anyways, I went and I separated all of them. Again, these 5 pins just go to a good engine ground, as stated here. And then these are going to be all my sensors. It's sweet. So I mean, this red one's obviously power, and the good thing with DIY, they have good documentation. It's like, when I'm doing this, all of the sensors for the TPS, crank, wideband, coolant temp, air temp, they all need to go to pin, that's what, pin 8, I believe. Let's see, sensor ground, oh no, pin 7. Yeah, they need to go to pin 7 sensor ground. So all that goes there. So what I'm gonna do is, when I cut up that guy, I'm gonna run all of the wiring to the inside the car, and then just terminate down in there, and then I will just need to bring out those grounds from the thing, and I'm gonna just bring them all out separately rather than like making a bundle. That might mess something with resistance or something of that nature. I'm not too sure. The only thing here is like this shielded wire for the crank. I'm gonna use the stock harness, but I don't know if the stock harness is shielded, and that might cause an issue. But I don't know. Basically, once I start chopping up that guy, then I can you know, start wiring and then what's that thing called, soldering in. So, you know, don't let wires, you know, get to you, man. You know, shoot, when I was 15 years old, I started wiring car audios. You know, it's just one of those things. I guess I like doing shit like this. That's probably a fucking geek in computers, but regardless of what, yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and, like I said, I need to order all that stuff, but I got all that. So now maybe I might start chopping that out, and then I need to get the what's that thing called? The pin of the Lord have mercy, I'm having a brain fart. It's been a long day. But get the electrical diagram for a Z33, and then so I can cross-reference and make sure, even though I'm a, you know, cut and whatnot, at least, you know, I'll know whatever. But, you know, small thing. I'm just jabbering on. So, well, right, guys, it happened. Oh, you can see that, I don't know, I just got in a crazy mood where I just want to get this shit done. So, I went, and that's the stock Z33 harness. That's, you know, I stripped it out, you know, took everything off, and basically, here goes the end of my sensors. Like, this is the injector. You can say, like, main harness that connects to the sub harness behind there. So I have that. This could be VVL. This one's gonna be coolant temp. I have another one that's like the same. I probably do, you know, VVL, even though the VVL is green on this one. This one's got like a sub harness for the two coil plugs there, and then it has this, you know, little one. I'm kind of disturbed about that because I wanted to run everything clean. But then I started thinking, I got that other Ultima over at my in-laws. Maybe what I'll do is get that engine harness out and what do you call it? Get those, so then I could run long connections rather than this whole thing, because basically they're sharing what do you call it? 12 volt feeds. You see how it's jumped there, like that? That's like a, you know, 12 volt feed. That might, you know, either way, I have to check. You know, one of these is a ground, one of those is that, and then I have all my signals, which are like this. This is the logic that goes to that. So, yeah, it's, you know, my brother has stopped by. He's like, man, crazy, bro. Like, yo, just gotta get it done. So I went, started doing that. I'm gonna look and see how the knock sensor is, because although I don't have the knock module for the Mega Squirt, I do have my knock sensor. So I'm gonna see about you know, getting that ran in there, and then I can hook that up. And then if I go with the knock module, I believe they may have an external one, and I can use that on one of my inputs that I have free. So that's what's up. So hopefully what I plan on doing is cleaning this up a bit, probably put in that wire loom that I have just so it's not so crazy, and then start doing some continuity testing and verifying what's the stock on the Z33, what the color code is, so I make sure I get all this shit right. So alright guys, that's dedication. Came out here on night, kinda mad I didn't want to do that, but I couldn't get into the damn thing, nor did I have the patience to get that guy out. So I just cut the fuck, you know, and so I'll get that. Trying to see what else I might need from this car before I get rid of it. But yeah, that's what's up. So now I got these extra wires. Hopefully I can make a good harness out of that, and we shall go forward and see. One more wiring thing. So I ended up doing was, like I said, pulling that harness from the Ultima, and these are the four you know, coil, spark plug, coil and plug, what do you call it, thing. So basically they all have, you know, these different color coded. That's a signal, that's what goes to the ECU. Then this black one, when you trace it down, it goes to a ground, and then this is your 12 volt. So that's all these coils require. is 12-volt signal out to the ECU that, well, the ECU then tells it when's a spark and then a ground. When I had the LS2s, shoot, I don't know, I forgot where they went. They had two grounds, one to the head, one to the ECU, a 12-volt signal, like on off, and then the actual logic. And yeah, I mean, that's all. But hopefully, these should hold me for the horsepower that I'm looking for. If not, then I have 4 LS coils. I'll order another 2, and drop those on. But yeah, I think I pretty much have everything. I just need to research that knock sensor, and we'll see. I want to clean up this garage now a little bit. So I'm gonna keep all this harness. If I need extra wires, hopefully I can find matching ones and lead it up to the same thing. So that was another reason why I went and I pulled this. It was mainly too because I don't like how this one has this little sub connector for those other 2 coils, and I wanna make the wiring look clean. So once I do that, then we should be good to go. So, all right, late.